problem. There is a secret memo in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will back. For an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu...
Don't you know what happened, the cop program in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Even our parents.
Wow.
Tell us, Igbo, in 2024, detaining Nnamdi Kanu against all the court orders, against all the court rulings.
I knew it that the Igbos' marginalization has always been intentional by the collective agreement of the Southwest and the Northerners. I mean, having listened to the words of Omoyole Sowore, and as an Igbo person, you don't necessarily need to trust, believe, or even support a man called Sowore, because he has always been consistent with this fact that the Igbos, right, are the scapegoat for the Nigerian unity, that Nigeria has an Igbo problem. I mean, with a shocking revelation, Omoyole Sowore, the founder of Sowore Reporters, which of course are one of the key pioneers of investigative journalism in social media, said that there is a memo. Written in that memo is that the Igbos must always be taken into consideration not to come into power. And this question takes me to that agitation for Biafra, to that hope Peter Obi has in Nigeria, because a person who of course is a Yoruba guy, Omoyole Sowore, coming out to bring this shocking revelation. And if we want to juxtapose and add one or two together to see what is going on, why has the Igbos not been favored, or why have they always been cheated out of key positions? Now everything is now coming and making sense to me, because we can see ever since the APC came into power, intentionally they have been able to exclude the Igbos from important positions. They have been able to reduce the Igbos' political relevance to the barest minimum. Now the Igbos are more or less like the minorities. Okay? And don't forget that the Igbos one time in the First Republic, they were the one leading across board in all sectors. They were in the army. They were, of course, the most educated. When you go into technology, science and tech, you see them there. When you go to the Aba, when you go to the area market, I mean, they had all manner of technological hubs. They have invention hubs, innovation hubs in the Southeast. They were making their own guns. They were making their own ballistics missiles. You know, I mean, these were their own inventions. So there seems to be an intention. And I don't think this intention is just locally funded alone. I think there is a global support. I think there are global powers that are behind the strangulation and the stifling of the Igbo people, not to get to that apex position. And I don't know why. But when I try to decipher it, when I try to, distill and try and touchlight what are the reasons why these people are being strangulated, I think it is because of their sense of curiosity, their sense of their interrogative sense, their critical thinking capacity, because they like to ask questions. They do not like to do the sheep following the shepherd kind of system. They want to be like, if we are going to do this, why am I doing it? What are the benefits for me and for my larger community? Why must I do it your way? Is your way the best? And of course, we understand that the colonial masters, these are what they detest. When you are questioning their authority, when you are questioning the status quo, when you don't want to go through their path, when you don't want to go through their ways, when you seems to be a person with a revolutionary mind, you're always ready to question the status quo. You're not just that person who is just dogma. You're not dogmatic. You want to be pragmatic, you want to be flexible, you just want to be curious. These are what the Igbos are. And I think this is what the global powers have seen, that if the black race in Africa will emancipate, the Igbos must be involved. And for the black race not to emancipate, let us cut them off. Let us ensure they don't get to the position of the presidency. If there will ever be a time they will get to that presidency, we will support even an incapacitated, even the highest incompetent player, who is of course, if we look at the current president, is incompetent. Obviously, in the last 16 months, we can see he has not been able to tell us anything tangible he's doing. He has not had one single media chat. This is a man who doesn't even know his left from the right. This is a man who cannot even interrogate with the people, right? A man who cannot articulate his vision. So there are global powers. I mean, these are the expositions of Sowore, who of course said that Nnamdi Kanu's arrest wasn't just Nigeria funded alone. There are Western powers who want to ensure Nigeria remains in this dark age, so that the black man will not get emancipated. And this is why there's an ideology behind the Biafra, that if the Biafra comes, the black race will be free. If the Biafran comes, that the black community will rise again. And of course, we know that as we stand today, Nigeria is part of what? It encapsulates the Igbos. The Igbos are part of Nigeria. Now, the Igbos are currently now being strangulated. The Igbos are used as a negotiating meat for the presidential seat. So that is the question. I think that is the bone of contention of Sowore, that Nigeria has, and it is documented, has an Igbo problem. And what is the solution? Well, it doesn't even know the solution. That's the funniest thing. If we look at Peter Obi, do we think Peter Obi will get to that position with this jaw-breaking revelation of Sowore? Of course, I don't think he can. Because I think if there is anything that will happen in favor of Peter Obi, the Western allies will support a person that will further, strengthening their own interest in the Nigerian system. There are so many refineries in the Western world today that do not want our own Nigerian refineries to work. So they are financing the destruction, the continuous sabotage of our local refineries. Right? Look at the gas. Just look at what is going on. It is systematically designed by the Western powers in conjunction with unpatriotic leaders that we have, that have ruled, subsequent leaders that have ruled us over the years. Right? Let's just take a look at it. Those leaders are not ready to question the powers that be. In just less than 2 years, Mali has been able to clear off its international debt, and as we speak today, Mali is the only state in Africa without one kobo debt, followed by Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, they are almost done with clearing their debt. And then you ask, where are these guys now seeing money to fund their budget, to run their government? They are getting money because they are diasporans, Malians, right? Malians are sending money back home to the government to build their country. A Malian player who played for Barcelona, Keita, single-handedly went back to Mali to build a soy mill. This is a soya beans factory. That factory cost about $50 million. He went back home, he built it. Today it is functional. Do you know how much interest they would have paid to World Bank or World Trade Organizations or IMF if they were going to seek for that $50 million? They would have given them some conditionalities, like you would float your currency like you will open your borders, you know, all manners of nonsense they give to us in Nigeria. And this is why today Nigerians are deeply suppressed by this World Bank policies, where they told Tinubu to float his currency if he knows he needs more money. If Tinubu knows he needs more $1 million, you have to what? Float the market, open your market. And they do all these things to strangulate our growing economy, because they know that we do not have the capacity. We are import dependent. So they will tell your leaders, our leaders, do this, do this, do this. And only few people have grown that capacity. And the global powers are doing everything possible to stifle and strangulate those people with such voices not to ever rise and get to that top position of the presidency. So it is intentional. This strangulation is intentional. The Igbos who have not been able to get to that presidential seat, there is a memo as unveiled by Sowore in the quarters of Sowore that written on it that the Igbos must be taken into consideration. They must be put on a radar. They must be blacklisted. These are the people that must not be allowed, because they will do this, they will do that. They are too ambitious. They are too arrogant. I mean, these are the words of Sowore, right? So, I mean, for me, at this stage, I want to believe that truly the Nigerian unity is formed on the basis that the Igbos will remain stifled, strangulated, suppressed, and of course, maltreated.